How's it going, everyone? My name is Kenny. If you don't know me, my gamertag is Doom Bandit. And today I'm really excited to bring you guys my review for the first set of cards that were released for the new Hearthstone expansion, One Night in KARAZHAN. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right into it. First card that was released was Enchanted Raven, which is a 1-mana 2/2 beast for the Druid class. Now, when I first saw this card, I wasn't too thrilled with it. Still not. I don't know how good it'll be. Beast archetype was tried by a lot of professionals, like Strife Crow I know was one of the most adamant ones. I tried out the deck for a while. It was okay. So clearly Blizzard is really trying to push the Beast archetype with Mark of Yasharj, a 1-drop that you can use your Mark of Yasharj on. However, it dies to most other 1-drops at the same time you're only spending 1 mana. It's not the worst thing in the world. It also does contest 3/2s pretty readily. So if this does come back in, if this does come into the metagame, I think Hunters will have an issue where their King's Elect will die to Enchanted Raven alone. The Huge Toad will also die. However, this is also kind of like with Warrior. You can kind of compare it to Blood to Ichor. Here it is. Which is essentially a 1-mana 2/2 deal 1 damage battle cry, which is clearly a lot better than a 1-mana 2/2 beast. However, you have the Mark of Yasharj synergy, some other beast synergistic cards in Druid. But when you think of Blood to Ichor, sure, it's like conditional a little bit, but at the same time you're generally using that to trigger execute or something along those lines. So I think that this card will be strictly okay. I'm going to definitely try it in a couple of beast decks, but let's move on to the next card since this card is pretty plain. Next card I want to talk about is the Kindly Grandmother. I can pull up the image. Let's just shrink it. So, Kindly Grandmother, a 2-mana 1/1 beast for Hunter that has Death Rattle, summon a 3/2 Big Bad Wolf. Now, they haven't released a card art for the Big Bad Wolf yet. I'm assuming it's also a beast. And I think that this card will be a little bit too slow for a couple reasons. Even though you're getting 4/3 in stats, it is broken up into a 3/2 and a 1/1. And you only get the 1/1 specifically. You only get the 1/1 when you play it. You don't get the 3/2 until after the Death Rattle. Kind of similar to, I don't know if I even have it, the Twilight Summoner, I think it's called. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Yeah, Twilight Summoner. I didn't bother to craft it, honestly, because I don't think it's worth it. Which is a 1/1 for 4 mana, summon a 5/5. So maybe this will see play in Death Rattle. Maybe Death Rattle Hunter will be a thing with like N'Zoth and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, this card just feels a little bit too slow. I could be totally wrong about this, honestly. This is something I don't know for certain. It generally looks not as good, like with King's Elect, Fiery Bat, and Huge Toad. I feel like are all kind of already better than this card in a way. So we'll see how it goes, though. Definitely a card to look out for, but I just don't see a way this will fit in the metagame unless Death Rattle Hunter becomes very big, and as it's already been seen, the only thing that matters about the Death Rattle is the deal 1 damage. Deal 1 damage randomly. And the summon, where is it? It's a 4-mana Infested Wolf. Summon the 2 1/1 spiders, which I just think summoning 2 1/1s when something dies is much better than summoning 1 3/2. That's a personal opinion. I think that having more stuff on the board, making it harder to deal with. Also, you get 2 beasts, so even if they try to kill one, if they only have 1 source of damage for some reason, you're able to still use the Houndmaster on the 1/1. Whereas with this, if they get rid of the 3/2 afterwards, like, you're done. You don't have any beasts to synergize on the board. So that's about it on this card. I don't want this video to be too long. When I was test recording, it was going a lot slower than this. The next one that we have is Firelands Portal. And this is 7 mana, deal 5 damage, summon a random 5-cost minion. I don't think that this card will be played. I think that this is just far too slow. I think if you want a similar effect, play Faceless Summoner. Sure, it has removal, but like, you're not gonna get... For the mana cost, it's not as good in my opinion. And then playing this on 7, you already have Flame Strike and stuff like that. You're probably just gonna want to play like Ethereal Conjurer, honestly, to try to get the damage that you want with the minion. I really want to know the order of this though, because of Summoning Stone. So if the minion comes into play first, if you get Summoning Stone off of this, you get, first of all, you get a Summoning Stone. Second of all, you get a 7-drop from the Summoning Stone triggering from the 7-mana spell, and then you'll get a 7-drop. So that would be insane. And that could make this card broken. However, I don't see that being a good enough situation because there are so many 5-drops in general. Like, that'd be such a rare occurrence that I just don't think that that's going to be enough to play it. Yeah, so with this card, just a little too slow. But could theoretically make it in a couple of Tempo Mage decks as like a one-of maybe. Definitely not in Freeze Mage, too high of a cost for burst damage. They need the AoE effects and the low mana, high damage spells. This is a high mana, low damage spell. So I don't really see this being played too much outside of theory crafting with Tempo Mage. The next card is going to be Ivory Knight. Now, Ivory Knight, 6 mana, 4/4, Battlecry, discover a spell, restore health to your hero equal to that cost. So let's go to Paladin, and let's type in spells, if this works. I actually don't know if that really... Okay, yeah, cool. So, most Paladin spells cost 1 mana. It's unfortunate, but this card, a lot of the Paladin spells, the amount of Paladin spells that equal like 1 or 2 mana, let's see, we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 spells that equal 2 or less, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it's a 13-17 split on getting 2 health or getting above 2 health. And then if you throw in the 3 drops, it's almost a 50-50 split on if... Like, the average health that you'll get is 3 or 4. However, you are discovering, so there's a slightly higher chance in that. I didn't mean to be like too... I understand statistics a little bit. So it's definitely not like a 50-50 on if you get 3 health or more. There is a good chance that you'll be able to get 4 or 5 health off of this. Do I think it's enough? No. Unless the metagame becomes very control and combo heavy, where you're able to play this to discover a spell. Like, discovering a spell is really good in this case. However, with Paladin, a lot of the spells aren't as impactful. You have a lot of buffs as Paladin. You have a couple damage dealing. You have like a 1 AoE effect in Consecrate. You could get Equality or something like that, but you also, yeah, it's hard to play any other spell with the spell that you discover with this as well, unless you get a 1 or 2 drop, and then you're not restoring as much health. So overall, I don't think that this is going to see play unless the metagame slows down, which I want to talk about in another video. I don't want to talk too much about the metagame as a whole, because I have a lot of thoughts on what Blizzard could theoretically do to either slow it down or just why they won't be able to. So, but that's more for another discussion video. Let's just keep on going with these cards. This one I love. This is one of the decks that, one of the cards that I am very excited for. Ethereal Peddler. Battlecry reduces the cost of the cards in your hand from the other class by 2 mana. Do I think this will be good? No. Am I going to have fun with this card? Hell yes I am. So, with Rogue, actually let me... So, with Rogue, they've obviously been putting in a lot of cards that give you cards from other classes, like Undercity, Huckster, and Burgle. Well, it's not a lot, but it's an okay amount. I like this card because I personally just love these cards thematically with Rogue. I've also been trying to have a lot of fun with my Rogue decks. Rogue is one of my favorite classes. When I first started, I played a lot of Mage and a lot of Rogue, and I've been having so much fun experimenting with the different decks, so I'm very curious to see how this card does. Now, at the same time, it is a low amount of effects, so will it probably be seen in like actual decks that you ladder with? Probably not. But it could give you good tempo swings if you happen to. It's also premium in stats. It is a 5 mana 5/6. That's something I should mention first. Like, this is a card where, sure, you only have, like, technically you could put in your deck at most 4 cards that synergize with it, but at the same time, it's pretty good stats. So if we see a more mid-range focused Rogue, like kind of like actually what we've been seeing, this card might just be good enough to make the cut, kind of like how Unearthed Raptor made it with a 3 mana 3/4 vanilla, essentially, if you don't have a Death Rattle in play, which happens a lot of the time. But this is just good enough to keep you on the board with tempo and all that type of stuff. So I think that the stats make this somewhat viable, but at the same time I don't have my hopes too high. But you will definitely be seeing me play this deck, play a deck with it. Now, on to the next card. What do we do now? I think we're on the last 2. Yeah. So we have the Curator, a 7 mana 4/6 taunt. They just released one of these. Just this one seems a little bit better. But Battlecry, draw a Beast, Dragon, and Murloc from your deck. So this is very thematic. Will I think this be good? No. Like, maybe this will be played in a dragon deck. I just don't see the stats helping its case, because like we've seen what stats for taunt, like a 6/8 Bog Creeper. Like, this has even been played a little bit in Constructed with the Frodan's Hyper Control Shaman, which was really fun. But I think the stats are just a little too low. I think maybe if this was like a 5/7, it would maybe see play. But I'm not sure. We'll see. The more that I look at this card, I see the dragon, and I'm thinking, what if you're in a very control-heavy metagame, and you just want to draw like your Alexstrasza, let's say. Like, let's say you're in a Freeze Mage deck or something, and you're really looking to finish off the game. You still have a little bit of your deck left, but you have a hand that is a lot of burst, and the Curator. Basically, you play the Curator, and the stats aren't even what matters. What matters is that you're guaranteed to draw Alexstrasza. And then you're able to play Alexstrasza on the following turn and burst your opponent down. So maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. It's something to look out for. I'll be, if I open him up early on, because I'm not oh wait, no, this is an expansion. This is an adventure. So we'll try him out probably in a couple decks, but overall, just the stat line is so poor for this. It's very fun thematics though, like the Curator, like being a museum curator, going and like showing everyone what you have. So it could be okay, but I don't foresee it being too good. And finally, we have Barnes. the 4 mana 3/4, summon a 1/1 copy of a random minion in your deck. Now, this just screams combo to me. Hearthstone, after that one Tavern Brawl where everything was a 1 mana 1/1 minion, I think that that was kind of like a test to see if they should make all these cards. And I think that people are just going to try this shit out. I think people are obviously going to try out the Malygos combo with this card. If you reduce stuff with Emperor Thorson, if you reduce your hand of burst damage, like let's say, I used to actually do, before Standard rotated out, Ancestor's Call. I actually only crafted one because that's all I needed. You have one Ancestor's Call in your deck, and you basically play a Burst Shaman that has a bunch of deal damage spells for low mana, like Lava Burst. You play Lava Burst, you play all the removal like Elemental Destruction, Lightning Storm, Lava Shock, and basically Crackle. And your goal was to deal over 30 damage in one turn with Malygos. And using Ancestor's Call. So if you had Emperor, you reduced most of your hand, you could Ancestor's Call for like 4 or even 3 mana if that gets reduced. And then because of the reduced cost of all the Overload cards, like 1 mana deal 3 damage, you played all those cards in one turn. So it didn't really matter that they had Overload. You would get Malygos out, and then you would just burst your opponent down. So basically that's what I think that this is going to be. This is going to be like someone trying to do a Malygos combo deck. I don't really see any other potential other than, like, you're not going to play this in a Ramp Druid, because, like, what are the chances that you get Ragnaros or something like that? Not too high. Maybe you could play it in, like, a N'Zoth deck, where, let's say, like, all you have are, like, for some reason, high-end minions, like Sylvanas, Cairn, and Tyrion, I guess. Like, this might be able to work in N'Zoth Paladin. I'm going to try that out since I just thought of that. This might work in that, where basically your only goal is to get more copies of these really high-end legendaries. Because as we've seen, that one. Like, if the 1/1 copy dies, you get back a 6/6 of Tyrion. So, from N'Zoth. So I think that is actually pretty good. However, at the same time, this is all like theory. We have to actually test that out. But this card should be okay. So I'm very excited for this expansion to come out. I'm glad that it appears that they're trying to push more combo and control decks at the same time. They've kind of stated that that's not what they really want to do with the game. They want it to be more interactive. So I'll have a discussion video on that at some point soon. But let me know what you think of the cards in the comments below. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong on any of the cards. I love to have this discussion with people. And I'm really hoping that we get some good priest cards. I think that's what I'm hoping from this expansion. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. My name is Kenny, also Doom Bandit. You can subscribe, leave a comment, interact with me. I'll leave a link to my Twitch also in the description. I'll be streaming, especially now that this expansion is coming out. I want to have a lot of discussion on stream about this upcoming expansion and to see what'll happen. So that being said, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.